5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, goodbye. And if I don't see you before you go to bed, good night. How are you doing? Welcome along. Yeah, it's that time of the week again. It's the prediction show. And let me just say, again, I'm looking at last week's show. Some of us did rather better than others. Doug was the best one. He was on top. Apparently that's what he likes. Welcome along. It is the prediction show. It is Thursday. We are running a little bit late because Wayne decided to nip to the pub on the way home. And he decided, no, this wasn't, that was more important than coming on and starting on time for you lovely listeners out there and viewers. If you are watching, join in the chat. Why don't you? Get across in the chat with your predictions as we go through. All we ask is that you do put the game up that you are scoring for. Otherwise, I just read them all out over and over again. If you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you for lending me your ears. Really, really do appreciate it. Let's get it on. I've got the two guys that will make up the three wise monkeys. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. The three brass monkeys. That's it. Hey, it's the prediction show. Gentlemen, good evening.
Where are the gentlemen?
I was saying gentlemen. I wasn't talking to you two.
You're calling it cheeky monkeys, Chris.
How are you doing, guys?
Oh, I'm doing better. I've been better and I'm doing better. If that's even possible.
I've no idea what he's saying. Do you, Wayne?
I think Brad, with his tactics and everything, he's actually had some positive tactics to talk about, didn't he?
He did. He was playing with his little buttons.
No.
He did try and hold it up with sellotape, mine, and that didn't quite have the effect that it wanted. But welcome along. Here we go. Rico is in. Hi, Rico. How the devil are you, sir? Welcome along. Craig is in. Hello. Blue Fox is in. Hi. Prashant is in. Hello there. And Geordie, one half of Anton Deck. How are you doing, mate? Congratulations once again on winning the trophy. Maybe we don't hear anything more about that now, eh? But what a run you've been on since you have won it. Amazing. Right. Brad wasn't here last week. And to be honest with you, Wayne, I'm not surprised. It was embarrassing what he predicted.
Well, it's clutching at straws, Chris, is one phrase that springs to mind.
It does, doesn't it? Yes.
I got 4 points, I'll have you know. It wasn't too far off the rest of you.
Well, you got 4, Wayne got 5, and I got 6. I mean, so out of 3, that puts you third.
Yeah, well,
AKA bottom.
I was going to say that I'm living out my Tottenham life, aren't
Are you surprised, Brad, though, that Chris has not got the foghorn out a bit early? Because
there isn't a bunch of dancers around him.
I don't like to brag, but
Doesn't like to.
Yes, like bears don't like to shit in the woods.
Yeah.
Only because Doug came out with 8 points and got better than any of us. Excuse me. I'll just say that if you add your Wayne and Brad's totals together, you only beat Doug on his own by 1 point. Don't want to rub it in anymore. Let's have a look at last week's scores. Here we go, everybody. So we started off with a Arsenal 1, Brentford. Where did we go? No. Oh, I hate this. They're doing it in such an awkward way, the Premier League. Manchester City 5, Palace 2. And I can remember somebody ringing me. I may have mentioned this already. Somebody messaging me, during that game saying, Chris, I could be on for 3 points here. Wonder who that was.
what was Brad's prediction?
Come on, own up. It was
2-2.
He went for a Desmond and started. Yeah, I don't know. You're breaking up, Chris. Didn't hear you.
Can I just say I went for 1-0 and I was the only one that got a point. If only he had done like a buses and had gone 2-2 for the next game, Brighton Leicester, he'd have done all right. But you got a point for that one, Wayne.
Yeah, I did think it was possible for us to get a draw because Brighton create a lot of chances but can't find the back of the net. But unfortunately, it was a Desmond, and that's the cruelty of the prediction show, isn't it?
It is. Kicks you in the nuts. Forest Everton beating Forest 1-0. None of us saw that coming except Doug, who got 3 points for that one.
I think he fixes him. I'm going to have to check that he doesn't edit it these halfway through.
I have to say, probably the easiest prediction of this show every week is that Southampton will lose, and we all went for that, but nobody got the score exactly right. And then we have Arsenal 1, Brentford 1, of course. Somebody here went 2-2. Not saying who. None of us got Chelsea Ipswich. Wayne went for an Ipswich win, as did Doug. But they didn't quite get it, did they? It was a 2-2er. Another Desmond, in fact. Liverpool, West Ham. Wayne, you thought it was going to be a 6-goal thriller, 5-1.
Well, Liverpool, they've only got the league to play for, haven't they? So what they're fannying around at, to be honest.
They might not be at the weekend because they might be champions if they beat us.
And Salah is not scoring at the minute, which is worrying for the weekend.
No, but Van Dijk's just signed a new contract.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I loved him in Mary Poppins.
Come on.
I can wait.
Deliver that punchline.
Oh my God! Sometimes I have to flag it up. Wolves Spurs. Well, there was only Brad that went for Spurs.
Desperation more than anything, and only Spurs could Spurs it more than Spurs.
Yeah, I have to say you're spot on there. You really are. Newcastle. Well, they just punished Man United. Bournemouth beating Fulham. None of us went for that. And Newcastle, like I say, what a performance in the midweek game, putting 5 past Palace. Made my 2-2 look out of sorts, didn't it? And indeed yours, Wayne.
Yeah, that's the without he isn't really scoring any goals. He did 1 assist or something. They can score from all over the park, all over their side.
Kind of ironic, isn't it? The 2-2s that we all went for, one team scored 5 goals in. I go 2-2 for Man City, Palace. Palace are the cursed side. Never go 2-2 with Palace because they lose 5-2 and they lose 5-0.
Exactly. Right. Excuse me, I've got a really bad chesty cough. There's the table. Now, if you're wondering what the colours are, I will explain. The yellow ones are non-movers. The green ones have gone up. The red ones have gone down. And Wayne, I've left in white because he joined late, so he's a bit of a special needs at the bottom.
That should be red and white for Southampton, because he is the Southampton of the league. Unfortunately, he's taken over the way and things haven't got any better.
To be honest, Chris, that's quite polite to be called special needs. That's a lot better than I've been called.
Sure. We're actually 10 minutes into the show, folks, so we've beaten last week's record, which was Wayne's fantasy football mention, which was 9 minutes 52 seconds. But he did mention it before the show started, if that counts. Look, Nate's been top since, well, before the birth of Jesus, I think, on that. John and Shane went up, and apparently you were saying something about Shane, Brad?
Yeah, Shane. Now, I had to catch up with the table because I was doing better things, really. I was on holiday. No, I was catching it up. Well, I wasn't doing it. I don't know sign language, Chris. And it was mentioned in the chat at one point he got 4 in one game week, but he went and doubled that over the game week totals of 30, 31 and 32. So a big shout out to Shane O'Donnell, who got 8 correct results.
Wow.
8 results spot on and 4 in one game week.
Well, Doug will be pissed off because Doug reckoned he got 3 in 1 week, so he was quite pleased with that.
Doug was a close second on that one.
Yes, yeah.
John also an impressive one as well.
Sorry,
John shot up the table. He had an impressive one. I think he got 6.
Well, I must admit, if you're looking at the second column, Kate is back on top of me, and I have to say, I'm not complaining. I was on top of her in the last table. She's now on top of me. I think it's only fair, share and share alike. What's wrong with you two? I'm on about the positions.
Yeah. You keep paraphrasing, mate. You keep going.
I was 7th on the last table. We did have a table last week, but it was an IKEA wooden one for $19.99 because he didn't do one because you were otherwise occupied.
Sorry, what's the second number?
How many correct scores?
Right, okay.
So if you both got the same number of points, then it goes down to like Kate's got 29 correct, I've got 25, so she would again be on top of me. The first number, Wayne, is the position.
Just run that by me again, Chris. Just run that by me again.
Brad's gone down as well. I'm sure he was doing some of that last week as well. And he's staying above Paddy and Anthony because, well, who are they?
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, well, Wayne is. It actually has gone up. I think it was like that 86 when you took over. It was quite a way down. But yeah, Jeff shot up. As you can see there, Jeff and Michael have got the same number of points, but Jeff's got 23 correct. Michael's got 22. So that is why Jeff is on.
The reason we do that is so it's goal difference, because last year we were able to do well. We was doing prizes. Things happened. I did sort Doug out the winner with some prizes, some
decent
things anyway. Yeah. So it's just for that. It's more for the fun this year. We'll see next year if we want to reintroduce them. But it was just for that, for goal difference, in case anyone argued. It's essentially what it is.
I just want to say, I don't know whether I had a chance to say this before or not. Congratulations to Michael, who is becoming a dad. So well done, Michael.
Yeah, congratulations.
You score more often than Newport County, which is the team he supports. Right.
Welcome to having no time for yourself.
That's what I said to my son. You know, he sent me a message the other day at 3:29 in the morning. I went, night feed and nappy change, was it? He goes, yeah, I thought so. Right, let us get into this then. So we'll start with the weekend fixtures. We've got 10 of those, and then we've got 2 midweek fixtures. I thought we'd all play the same number of games, but there we go. So, same format as last time. Wayne will talk about that. What I'll do is I'm just going to move Wayne. Whoa, there you go. Move you over because you'll do home, Brad will do away, and then I'll pinch the idea off one of you to get my points. I'm not stupid. Right, so let's get into the weekend fixtures. Brentford host Brighton. It's not at 3:30. Completely missed that up. There's no 12:30 game this week. It's actually at 3 o'clock. Palace host Bournemouth. Everton host Man City. West Ham host Southampton. A bottom of the table clash there. Aston Villa, the evening kickoff, are hosting Newcastle. Aston Villa, who, fair play to them, got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but got knocked out. Fulham on the Sunday is the first game. They're hosting Chelsea. Ipswich are hosting Arsenal, and Man United are hosting Wolves. Be interesting to see which way we go with that one. Sunday evening, it's the TV game. Leicester are hosting Liverpool. And then on Monday night, the Monday night football is Spurs versus Forest. Just to let everybody know, it's Good Friday tomorrow, so there will be no prediction show tomorrow. No preview show tomorrow, because it is say bank holiday. Might do something else, I don't know yet. Right, here we go then, everybody. Let's get into this. So the first game here is, and I'm just going to change my cards, Brentford versus Brighton. Talk to us about Brentford, Wayne.
Well, the last 6 games, drawn, lost, one lost, drawn. Brentford, it's crazy, isn't it? Like the beginning of the season, they were used to win all the home games and lose the away games, and it's completely turned on its head. And their away form is unbelievably good. I mean, the last game against Arsenal, they're done with a brilliant Rice sort of break, played the ball into them, and they just got done by 1 goal. But they've still got 2 really high-scoring wingers and strikers, and Wemo, 16 goals, Wissa, 15 goals. I think Thomas Frank has just managed 300 games for Brentford now.
I bet he's knackered.
Correct?
I bet he's knackered.
I bet he is. Yeah. And apparently all the people at the club love him because he's just a real people person. He tries to celebrate the good in people. And to be honest, I fancy Brentford to beat Brighton, although it's at home. And I would say Brentford 2, Brighton 1.
Brentford 2, Brighton 1. Brad?
Brighton have fallen off a cliff a little bit. You know, we always said Wayne's completely disappeared into a new vortex. Wayne just disappeared there into another level. I'm
going to have to remember Red Parker pen to write down your very accurate score prediction, Brad.
All right, you sarky fuck. I mean,
hey, dudes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to enjoy this if I have a really good week and you get like 2 points, Wayne. But no, Brentford have been a little bit up and down themselves, but they've managed to stabilise with a few decent results throughout. I mean, for once, I actually bothered to read the fans' voices on the BBC because it was positive reading for Leicester fans. A lot of Brighton fans, despite their position, despite the games they've had this season, have washed their hands with their manager, which I find very shocking. I feel like they're getting Leicester syndrome. They had them dizzy heights, and some fans have got a bit too big for the boots. And honestly, this could be a game where we get this. This will be one of them results that fans pinpoint, going, "This is why he needed to be sacked. This is why he's been sacked come the end of the season." You know, one of them sacks that you go, "Well, they didn't really do that bad. Why have they sacked him?" This will be one of them results. Because I'm going Brentford 3, Brighton 0. If you can't beat Leicester home and away, you deserve to lose every game. Ask Spurs fans.
Brentford 3, Brighton 0. Did you say?
Yeah, Brentford 3, Brighton 0. That is correct.
Right. Now,
He's just scribbling out his prediction now. He's gone, shit.
well, no, I'm not writing anything down till I've heard yours, Brad, because I've learned from that. I'm just looking here. I mean, look, you can see all the details up on the screen there. In the form table, in the last 5 games, Brentford are 12th and Brighton are 15. So they'll both probably be a little bit disappointed with that. Interestingly, excuse me, in home form, or the home table, Brentford are 9th, and in the away table, Brighton are 7th. So, I'm actually going to kick it off this week, and I'm going to go for a 2-2.
Yeah, guys, if you FPL, cross it off the bingo list. Chris goes for a 2-2, cross it off your bingo card. You got to make one, Chris. You've got to make a little predictions league bingo card.
Actually, we may be striking up a bit of a sponsorship deal with a football bingo type company.
Oh, see, my persistence has paid off, Chris. I want 10%.
Right, Palace will be licking their wounds a bit this Saturday, hosting Bournemouth, who they've fallen off the edge a bit. They were also, I know I did a end of season thing with Paddy, and he was hoping for football. Sorry, I should have put the scores up here, shouldn't I? Prashant says, Chris, I can see you in a really good mood. That's nice. He's then gone 2-1 to Brentford. He's agreed with you, Wayne. Craig has gone 2-2, so he agrees with me. Geordie's gone 2-1. Blue Fox has gone 1-1. And Rico, good man, he's gone 2-2 as well. Bournemouth, they were talking about Europe. The wheels have definitely come off that wagon now. But I think the main worry is going to be whether they can keep hold of Areola or not. But Palace, wow, 5-0 at Newcastle. I don't think anybody saw, well, none of us lot saw that coming.
No, to be honest, when you said about the wagon, it reminded me about the song 3 Wheels on My Wagon. And I was
Oh, God, don't sing.
Those Cherokees are after me. But Palace, I mean, they were the informed team in the Premiership, weren't they? And then they played Man City and they played Newcastle and it all went to shit. But with Man City, though, they were 2-0 up and they had a third goal that was ruled offside. So, that's a real sliding doors moment with Palace, to be honest.
Yeah.
Man City were dominant. They just, De Bruyne is back. So I think they gave up too many chances to Man City. They allowed Man City to get control of midfield. And it just shows they're a very good side, but against the very top sides, and Edison, the long ball to McAtee for the last goal. So, I'd say Palace have just played 2 very strong sides. Man City coming back into form with De Bruyne. So I'd say Palace actually will beat Bournemouth and they'll beat them 3-1.
Oh, okay. Brad, Bournemouth 8th, Palace 12th. I think both teams would be happy if it ended like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Before they even kicked the ball this season, if you'd have told them they're going to finish 8 and 12, both teams would have taken it. A bit too dissimilar. Both teams have taken a bit of a battering in terms of the form guide, which shows you how difficult it is to really break into the money bags top 6. I mean, the top 6 in the Premier League, because they were right up there for a good chunk of the season, especially, Bournemouth were up there for a good chunk of the season, and they've slowly fallen away. They stopped the rot, though, Chris, against Fulham, which is a good team to be doing that again. Again, another team that was on the outskirts, on the outside looking in sort of thing. And we've basically in about 2 years' time, when the entire Premier League qualifies for Europe, 8th or that still might be good enough for a Europa League Conference Division 3, title.
Southampton would be in Europe, wouldn't they?
Yeah, could you imagine that? Southampton finished bottom, getting a Europa Conference. That's what
Yeah.
they'd be. But no, I think they've stopped the rot. The weirdest thing here is, I nearly laughed at Wayne saying that Palace would win this game, but when you kick a lion, you know, an injured lion at best, and you take out its other leg, it's funny for a second, but when the fucker stands back up and starts running at you, you shit your pants, don't you? And then you get absolutely mauled. Look, there was a point in that Newcastle game as well where they absolutely butchered a penalty. I think he did some fancy Panenka, and you know he had enough time to dive one way then the other to save it, and that could have turned the game. And I was so close, Wayne. I was so close to saying what you said, but you've jinxed it for me. So I'm going to make Chris very, very happy. Get ready, guys. Your bingo card. Crystal Palace 2. Bournemouth 2. There you go.
Hey. Do copycat. Come up with your own homework.
Change it for the answer below so I don't get top marks.
In the form table, Palace are in. This is on the last 5 games again. Palace are in 9th, and Bournemouth are in 14th. On home form, Palace are, or would be on. This is on the whole season, in 15th. In away form, Bournemouth are in 5th. So I'm gonna make this a full set, you know. I think Bournemouth will get something from this. I think it will be tight. I'm going to go 1-0 to Bournemouth.
He loves to go to the seaside.
So we've got a home win, a draw, and an away win. We've got the full set. That must be a corner on the bingo card.
All agree it's got to be another one, hasn't it? That has to be the same result, but we could all go for like a Southampton loss, something like
that. Geordie's gone 1-1. Craig has agreed with me, 1-0 to Bournemouth. Prashant's gone 3-1 to Palace, agreed with you there, Wayne. And Blue Fox has gone 1-1 on that one. So, the third game, here we go. Everton versus Manchester City. Look, let's not lie. There would have been a time when we'd have all said, yeah, Man City going to win this 6 or 7-0. But you know what? Man City are in 5th in the table. Everton are in 13th. This isn't going to be a walk in the park for Man City, is it, Wayne? Everton, every game now is the last time they will play a game for them at Goodison Park. Manchester City in 5th, but could Everton get something from this?
Yes, they could, Chris, to be honest. I do think Man City have improved now, and they're starting to get back even with Haaland, yeah. But Everton, I mean, like Brozier on loan from Chelsea is a quality player. When they played Forest, to be honest, Everton were excellent. They created a lot of chances. They had more possession. And basically, they hit Forest although they had more possession, when Forest attack broke down, Everton hit them on the break. So Everton did a Forest on Forest.
Yes.
And basically, since Moyes, what a sliding doors moment that Moyes, that like West Ham got rid of Moyes, having won a European trophy. It goes to Everton. I mean, their form, they're almost mid-table below Crystal Palace, who were in the same kind of position that we were, Leicester, sort of 10 games ago, a few months ago. And he's just completely turned it around. They do definitely play more advanced when they're not cautious, they're not defensive. The defensive solidity, but when they break, they do commit players forward. And that's something you wouldn't really expect of David Moyes because he's viewed as a negative manager. And also, Richarlison's different. That's Spurs. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, but Everton definitely under Moyes could be manager of the season, really, from when he took over Everton.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how Everton finish the season, because they could end up where thinking if they just got started a bit earlier, they could have been challenging for Europe, to be honest. So I'd say Everton, even though Man City are coming good again, I expect Everton to draw with Man City 1 each.
1-1. Brad?
Yeah, I think Wayne's been eating too many Evertonian pies and food and been a bit delusioned. Look, Everton have definitely drastically improved, but they've still dropped points where here and there throughout. Manager of the year, that's got to go to Nuno, especially if Forest do sneak in the back door of Europe. Maybe even Emery or maybe Eddie Howe, because he's won a trophy. They're in my top 3. I wouldn't even put David Moyes in contention. I think if you've got the tools and utilise them differently, almost like change the system from what it was to something completely different. Rude, take notes. You get better outcomes from the players on the pitch, and that's pretty much all David Moyes has done. He's not done anything inherently different. He's just gone, this isn't working. You guys don't like playing this way. How about this way? Yeah, good. Go on then. And they've gone and proven that if you let players play to their strengths, rude, take notes, they get results. Having said that, yes, Man City have been dodgy this season. Dodgy in a kebab at 4 a.m. after a night out. But they've sort of come into that end of season coast where it's like, okay, let's get the job done now. Let's make sure we've still got Champions League football, and we'll wait to start on minus 10 points next season, because we'll get a slap on the wrist and it won't be that bad. Or nothing, because I'm magic to get away with it. I can see Everton getting something from this game, and if someone goes to back them to win it, or like Wayne has a draw, I wouldn't be surprised, because there is a real chance of it. Like you said, Chris, this is the last hurrah for Goodison Park, which is a shame in a way, because it's a ground the majority of us have grown up, knowing it's Everton's ground, although the history behind it all. However, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I'm even more an idiot than I started off with. I'm not going for a draw, and I'm not going for an Everton win. I'd rather lose the points and find it hilarious than gain points thinking a miracle's going to happen. I'm going Everton 0, Man City 2.
After all that, okay. It could have gone any way, that, couldn't it, Wayne, really? It
was a cliffhanger.
Can I just say, Brad, I've worked out why Wayne was so late coming to the show. His appointment at the sunbed salon overran.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I work outside for a living, Chris. What can you say?
Oh, you say that. Was it a
It's
spray
called
or
a
a
beer
bed?
garden. We know this. Works in the beer garden section.
Right. On form, Everton are in 10th, Man City are in 7th. They've turned it round. If you're looking at home form this season, which is a bit unfair on Everton because, of course, they had Sean Dyche for a while, but they're in 13th in the home form. They are in the home form. I apologise. They are in 14th. In the away form, Manchester City are in 9th. Again, you would automatically think Man City should be going to win this, whether it's 1-2, 1-0, whatever. But, like I say, I've always said that Everton at home are probably another 30-40% over the away Everton, because of the backing of that ground. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they move. Lovely new stadium, absolutely brilliant. And, when we host the Euros, whatever it is we're hosting, they will probably get games there. But it's a shame because it is such an old-fashioned, iconic ground, Goodison Park. And Manchester City, look, they're up and down, aren't they? They're the proverbial bride's knickers. They're just not doing what you'd expect them to this season. And I've got to say that I absolutely disagree with Brad and totally agree with everything you said, Wayne. So,
That's a
Yeah,
first,
I
isn't
tell you what,
it?
you two need to switch places because you're getting on your knees.
anyway, so I have gone 1-1 as well.
Why don't you hold hands and kiss under a rock?
He doesn't like it, Wayne, does he? Because his best mate Steve doesn't do it anymore. He doesn't like it. Right. Okay, let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. Everton 1, Man City 2. Geordie's gone for the away win. Prashant's gone for a Desmond. Rico, unsurprisingly, has gone for a 1-0 Everton. Of course, he is an Everton fan. So, Man City 3-1, says Craig. And 2-3 says Blue Fox. So, a lot of varied predictions in there.
Thing is, De Bruyne is back and he is playing very well, isn't he, De Bruyne, at the minute?
Yeah. I just think the Goodison effect, and we're coming down now to the last 3 or 4 home games. You know, so every time that one of the ones played, they get towards that last game. Right. This, believe it or not, is the battle of the bottom, because we all like a battle of the bottom, don't we? Southampton already relegated. I thought they might do better last week, having gone down, having sacked the manager. You've got that kind of freedom to just go out and express yourself. Express yourself. But West Ham, Harry Potter's, Graham Potter's magic soon wore off, didn't it? I mean, they were better under Loppy Floppy Pigo than they were under Potter, because I mean they're actually mid-table. Potter, if anything, has made West Ham worse. Maybe, just throwing this out there, maybe we dodged a bullet there. I don't know, but he's they're 17th in a normal season. They'd be in a relegation battle. What's gone wrong at West Ham, do you think, Wayne?
A manager that can't organise it. I've got to be honest with you, when you look at West Ham's side, apart from Bowen, they're just very, very average. West Ham, I mean, yeah, they gave Liverpool a close game. The stats are the stats are like, they had 11 shots, 4 on target against Liverpool. Liverpool had 15, 6 on target. But really, Salah's been a bit drawing blanks the last couple of games, which is a bit worrying when we play Liverpool at the week on Sunday. But West Ham are very average. I think if you take Bowen out their side, they would really struggle. In fact, I think they might well be in the bottom 3. So, yeah, Potter hasn't really done anything at West Ham. They got rid of Moyes, and he's doing brilliantly. Everton have overtaken West Ham. West Ham, when you look at their squad, they've got very average players. So players are basically equivalent to our squad.
Yeah.
So I'd say for that reason, West Ham v Southampton, I do think that will be Desmond 2-2.
Which would, of course, give Southampton the same number of points as Derby. They're not going to do that, are they, Brad?
No, they're not going to get the same number of points. But I'm a bit like you, Chris. I felt like the shackles were off. This was a chance for them to really let it fly. But they've had this problem all season, and this is probably some of the problems I don't think a manager can help, and that is they've just got players that actually aren't that great. I don't rate that Dibley that they were raving about, because all I've seen of the infamous YouTube clips is him making mistakes and giving the ball away, and they have this irrational habit, Southampton, of just forgetting what football rules are and hacking players down and giving away needless penalties. I mean, they gave away 2 against Villa, And all right, Ramsdale saved them both, but one was converted. But I mean, how many basic lessons of football do you need? I feel like they've given away more penalties than points this season, which is impressive in its own right. It's scary, this game, because I think West Ham are going to win. And the only reason it's scary is, even though I've accepted Championship as our fate, we could be relegated before we kick a ball officially, because if West Ham or Wolves both win, that's it, it's over. I think it may even be the case if no, it won't be the case if they draw and we win. We're not going to, but humour me for a minute. We'll be down without kicking a ball.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go there, Chris. You said Derby, they won't equal Derby's record. No, they won't, because Southampton are going to shock the world. They're going to jump from a massive 10 points to 13 as they beat West Ham by 2-1. West Ham 1, Southampton 2. I don't want any points. I can't do anything. I might as well start being Steve Rynex and go ridiculous with it. Why not? Keep the dream alive. Keep Leicester in the Premier League for one more agonising week.
No, we have to take your first answer. What was it?
I'm not changing it. I'm sticking with Southampton to win.
What was the score?
West Ham 1, Southampton 2. Let me check.
You know, Wayne, Brad says to me sometimes, how come I'm not doing very well in the prediction league?
You know what? When Southampton win this game, first person's getting a message. When they lose, my phone's going on Do Not Disturb.
To be fair, Chris, I was tempted to put 2-1 to Southampton. To be honest.
Oh my God! You two get a room. Put each other down. Jesus Christ.
Have you noticed, Brad? Chris never plays that when he's talking about his own score predictions.
Oh, no, right. Yeah. It's like, he forgets that I've been good and
Do you know why I don't, Wayne? Because it's my channel.
I thought you could say because you're so humble.
Yeah, far from it.
I don't think anybody would believe that, would they? Let's be honest. Have you two stopped having a loving now?
Yeah, just
for now, temporarily.
Temporarily. Right.
White.
Well, West Ham
White.
in the form table are in 18th place.
Wow.
Ooh. Southampton are in 19th place. You can work out who's 20th then, can't you? On home form, West Ham are in 16th during the season, and with the playing Southampton rock bottom in 20th. You know what you were saying though, Wayne, about West Ham not having very good players?
I didn't say that, did I? Honestly,
You did. You said apart from Bowen, they've got not very good players. Don't try to blow your way out of it.
Yeah. I just want Southampton. Well, no, do I want Southampton to actually beat Derby's record and keep Derby as the team with the lowest points?
Derby worked hard to be that shit. Let them keep it.
You see, the way I look at it is that if Southampton end up with 10 points this season, or even possibly 11, they will go down as the worst ever team or joint worst ever team, and people won't be talking about how shit Leicester were. See me thinking? Up here for thinking?
I do. I like Brad's reasoning though. Let's keep Derby with that record.
I can't go that. I am going to go.
Boring.
West Ham United 1, Southampton 0.
I mean, you probably get 3 points, but it's really boring, isn't it?
Let's see what everybody in the chat has gone. Where are we? Southampton 1, West Ham 3, says Geordie. West Ham 3-0. And Blue Fox, he sat on that fence, or iceberg because he's in Canada. Southampton 0, West Ham 0. When we say sorry, I meant when I say Canada, of course, Blue Fox, I do, of course, mean the 53rd state, is it something of America? So, oops. Southampton 0, West Ham 2, says Prashant. So, the last game, it's a late kickoff on the Saturday, meaning that it's on, God's very own channel, Sky Sports. Newcastle in 4th. By God, they're on a run. Aston Villa on 7th, who, I'll have to say, put up a fair fight midweek. Tielemans, who apparently did really awful for their first goal, but then he got one back himself later on. They're going to be a little bit stung, aren't they, Villa? But they never do well after Europe.
They don't, but I mean, the form table, they are the informed Premier side. In the last 6 games, they've won 5, and lost 1. And I do think they are now starting to deal with Europe really well. When they played Southampton, interestingly, all the 3 subs, I think it's they said on match today, it's the first time it's happened where all 3 subs have come on and scored a goal, basically. So the 3 subs came on, scored a goal, Watkins, Marlon and McGinn. The match stats, Villa created loads of chances against, 25 chances, 10 shots on target, 48 touches in Southampton's box. Martinez is a brilliant keeper. Some people say he's the best keeper in the Premier League. And in that game, Asensio missed 2 penalties, didn't he? Did you see that? And Watkins wanted the second penalty, but Asensio, and he missed both of them. So hopefully he's off. And in the midweek against PSG, Villa, wow, what a comeback against PSG. The tie looked dead and buried, to be honest, and then they just decided to go for it, high press them, and to be honest, they had shots off the line. It's in the post. They could have won that game, to be honest. So I think Villa are bang on form. They will overtake Chelsea. And I think Villa, this is interesting because Newcastle are bang on form as well. And they're now up to 3rd. So I would say it will be another Desmond 2-2.
Jesus, he's in love with the Desmonds.
He is. Brad?
Look, I think Villa played very well against PSG. They were unlucky in the end not to turn that around completely, but Newcastle have just been a different breed, and that separates the cats amongst the pigeons, as they say. So I am learning phrases rather than just mangling them into 2 into 1. And I think if you're going to see a team that's going to make a surge to try and get a higher course of European football, obviously ending 70 years of a trophy drought. Congratulations, Newcastle, Jordan, in the chat on that one. You know that they've already got European football, but you want to try and go for the highest format going. And if they don't do it this year, which I don't know how different the points are, next year I can see them competing for the top 4 and getting back in the Champions League spot. And for me, I just feel like, despite the effort, it was 2 different contrasts. Newcastle not having football like that to concentrate on has really helped them in this back end of the season. Whereas Villa, yes, they scored 3 against Southampton, but they did stutter against the line. And I was cursing them because I had Villa in my last man standing. And at 70 minutes when they missed a penalty, I was like, here we go. This is where Southampton draw 0-0 because they can't hit a barn door. But they turned it on and got the win in the end. However, Newcastle have been something else. And I'm going for a crazy scoreline here. I'm going wild, Chris. If you can't beat them, join them for daft scorelines to get you 3 pointers. I'm going Aston Villa 2, Newcastle United 4.
I know. I couldn't get me whistle out in time there, Wayne, as the Archbishop said to the actress. Wow. Geordie says, thank you, Brad. Geordie, I know you're third. It says fourth there because I did this before last night's game because I was doing other things today. So that's why it doesn't include last night's game if you look at the info. In fact, if you're looking at the form table, based on the last 6 games, Newcastle 15 points, Liverpool 15 points, Villa 15 points. Literally, it's only goal difference that puts Newcastle on top, Liverpool second, Villa third. They have been playing well. On home form, Aston Villa are in 8th. On away form, no, they're not. I lied. I keep lying, don't I? Because I don't move me scroll. I don't scroll up. On home form, Villa are 7th. Well, not a great difference. On away form, Newcastle are 3rd. And interestingly, Newcastle United have strong performances at away fixtures. Within the top 3 in terms of away match win, Newcastle United SC records a statistic of a 50% win rate away from home.
That's impressive, isn't it? That is really impressive.
That in another season, Chris, is title winning form.
Yes, yeah.
If you can turn all the losses into draws, they would be up there.
And it's for that reason, because I did fancy a draw, but I'm just wondering whether Villa will have that hangover. Surprised they're playing Saturday night, having played in Europe, to be honest with you. I'm going to go, though, because I did think about a draw at one point. Aston Villa 1, Newcastle United 2.
Yeah. The reason they play on the Saturday night, Chris, is because they also play on the midweek. They're one of the midweek games that we're going to talk about.
What, Villa?
Yeah, Villa play Man City at Manchester in the.
That's a bit of a piss take. I must admit that's very unfair on Villa.
It is, but probably the reason they've done that is because it's at home, so they won't have to travel, whereas the midweek's away. So they
never do anything for the fans.
Yeah, of course they don't. They just don't want. They want to keep. They want to like shoo Villa. You're not rich enough, sort of thing, don't they?
Well, Brad, you went for 6 goals.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so did Prashant. He went for 3-3.
Hey, that's a mega Desmond. That is. That's like a full-grown Desmond.
And talking of a Desmond, here comes Blue Fox with his 2-2.
I tell you what, Chris. Next season has to be done because there'll be more games. We need a Desmond counter.
We do.
Desmond counter. How many Desmonds can get a week?
Villa 1, Newcastle 1, says Geordie. And Craig has gone 2-1. Of course, they're both in the semi-final of the FA Cup. Yes. I can't say, Geordie, bloody favouritism. You thank Brad for going for a win for you. Where's my thank you? No, I don't get one, do I, Geordie?
Yeah, I know why, Chris. You know why?
I'm looking forward to playing Sunderland next year.
He's still pissed you got that wrong. He's fuming at you. I don't blame you. You keep your peace, Geordie. So I had to. You forgot.
Come on, Sunderland. The best team in the north.
If we hear that there's been a murder, Geordie, you was there all along, mate. We never saw anything.
Alrighty. Sunday, a London derby. Fulham, who were very noticeable if you watched the boat race at the weekend. He went straight past Fulham's ground. Hosting Chelsea. Talk to me about Fulham, young Wayne.
Well, Fulham Silva, great side. What your thumb is up for?
Because he's actually said thank you to Chris.
I love the Geordies. Always have.
Yeah, so Fulham, I mean, they've won 3 and lost 3 in the last 6. And to be honest, they've got, apart from your Villas, your Man Cities and Newcastle who turn things around more, Fulham are another one of those sides that, you know, thinking, could we have got in the European places? Did you hear that it could be like 11 Premier sides getting into Europe next year, depending on the BBC website, thinking, right, let's try and get my head around this. So Fulham,
Crystal Palace can have a box season standard and be playing Feyenoord next. God, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
well, I'm thinking like Everton could get into Europe then. I mean, my God. Yeah, but Fulham.
Last game of the season, you're 10th and you're losing 6-0. We're all going on the European tour.
Yeah, like, just get to finish 11th and say, right, so just explain the rules to me. And it takes like an hour and a half to explain all the different permutations.
Yes.
Yeah, but Fulham definitely a good side. And I think they will give Chelsea a game. And this, with Newcastle like going up to third, this is the real test on the Chelseas and Maresca. It's like in the Championship, you know, when he was tested, I don't think Maresca stood up to the test in the Championship. But the fact that we had the richest squad in the Championship got him over the line. So this is the test against Fulham. And I don't think Maresca will. I think Fulham will give them a good game. And I think Fulham will win Chelsea 2-1.
2-1. Ooh. That is. I mean, Chelsea... Every time, and I've got a couple of Chelsea channels that I just keep an eye on. Every time I tune in, it's Chelsea Fancast. They are just doing nothing but complaining about Enzo.
We try to warn you, Chelsea fans. We try to warn you.
Yeah, we did.
Well, listen,
we did.
Y'all laughed at us. Y'all laughed at us when you took him. Kieran Dewsbury Hall must be crying because the poor bloke got stolen from Leicester and didn't want to leave to go play with a manager who said he was one of the best midfielders ever. And now he's basically a homegrown filler for the Europa League because I've noticed he's starting again tonight in a pointless game because they're 3-0 up. I shouldn't laugh though. It's a team we couldn't beat. Legia Warsaw. Is that the team we couldn't beat in the thing? They beat us at Filbert Street or whatever. They beat us at their place.
I'm not sure.
You what?
I'm not sure.
I thought you were saying legal. I thought you were trying to copy the name.
Bum bum.
Yeah. An accidental joke from you there, Chris. It's probably funnier than the ones you mean. You got something on your cheek there, mate.
Yeah. Just having a good scratch there.
I've got one across my head, look. Anyway, look, Fulham have been, they're probably, I used to say it's about Leicester until last season and this season for obvious reasons, but I used to say the one thing about Leicester is they're consistently inconsistent. You know, more times than not, you know, Leicester used to go and beat Man United at Old Trafford, then they'd lose to bloody Bradford City the next week. They've always been very inconsistent in my time supporting them. But that's been Fulham this year, you know. Wayne's already read out a few scores they've got: win, lose, draw. They kind of go in that order. And look, Chelsea again. This could be another Pochettino situation. End of the season, Todd Bowley throws his monopoly money out and toys out the pram and doesn't like what he's seen from him. They'll probably win, you know, Europa League conference, but that didn't stop them sacking Di Matteo when he won the Champions League, did it? So if that ain't going to stop them, when is it ever? And because they screwed me out of it last week when I played Ipswich, I should have really thought about that. I'm going to go and double up on a Desmond myself. I'm going to go for a 2-2er.
Interesting. I'm glad I waited not to write one down.
I think we should start a petition so we have to reverse the orders every time.
Scott is in. Hi, Scott. And he says, still Leicester fans wanting Maresca-style football next season. If you haven't watched it yet, and Scott, I hope you're well, has just reminded me that I did a show last night with Ant, not with Ant and Deck, but with Ant and Manny. Hasn't got quite the same ring to it, has it? And it was Ant wanting Sean Dyche style sort of manager, and Manny wanting more of like a Maresca style manager to come in. It was very interesting, and I will tell you something. Manny, my God, I had a chat with him after. Does he know his stuff? Bloody hell. He really, I mean, it's his job. His job is to do all with stats and everything and sport. He owns his own company. Lovely, lovely guy. No, I fell out with him the week before because I was a bit of a patsy. He was shooting me down for having to defend Sean Dyche and Gareth Southgate. Neither of which were my choices, by the way. That was Anton Craig. But I got into all the trouble. And we did have like handbags. But no, lovely, lovely guy. Do check that out because it's how we feel we should be moving ahead with our appointment as a new manager. Right. Both of these teams basically were shit last week. I've got to say, Fulham lost to Bournemouth on the Monday night. And as you alluded to there, Brad, Chelsea couldn't get past Ipswich. Although Ipswich must still feel they're in with a fighting chance. And it actually did show some fight. In the current form table, based on the last 6, Chelsea are in 5th place, 3-2-1 is their record, and Fulham are in 10th, 3-0-3. And if you're looking at home form, I remember to scroll up this time, Fulham are in 8th and Chelsea are in 10th. I do have this feeling, and I enjoy it when I get it. I don't get them often enough, but I do have this feeling that Chelsea just can't finish teams off, can they? You know, they're not going out, and I know that this style of football is not what the Chelsea fans want. Will Todd Bowley give him next season to turn it round? And I mean, he's lucky that he's got a squad that's got decent players in, which is the only reason I think that they're where they are. Because I don't think he would have done that well with obviously with our players. I can't agree with Brad. I can't. It just goes against everything that I was brought up believing. You know, I can't
agree with him. Go on, give in. Agree with Brad.
Do it.
No, because I was actually going to go. So don't write this down, guys. I was going to go for a 1-1.
Yeah, so if you get 1-1, you'll get 3 points. I only get 1. I went 2-2, didn't I? So you could go 1-1 and be wrong when I goes 2-2.
I do quite like Wayne's 2-1. They're even joining in the chat here. Do it, Chris.
You could go for the amount of Desmonds in the prediction week.
Oh, you weren't at the airport the other week, were you, Brad?
No, I wasn't.
No, only because I saw this guy go up to the desk going, and we said, no, sir, this is the check-in desk.
Oh, my word.
Often told before, but I do think it's often worth it.
You need a tumbleweed graphic.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't. No. It's a joke I've used many, many times, but I do feel it is worth an outing every now and again. But I'm going to go 1-1. Stick with me first choice.
There we go. We talked him into it, folks. What an idiot. What a mugger. Gives into peer pressure like that.
No, that was my first choice. That was my first choice.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my first choices was 2-2, but I wasn't going to go with that. 2-1 says Patrick to Fulham. Geordie says 3-1 to Fulham. Craig says 3-2 to Fulham. They're all going for Fulham's. Blue Fox says Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. So not many people there. In fact, nobody has actually gone for a Chelsea win. Interesting. Right. Next up on the horizon, Ipswich are hosting Arsenal. Again, on paper, Wayne, Arsenal 2nd, Ipswich 18th. It's literally like, almost like a mirror game. Arsenal are a plus 30 goal difference. Ipswich a minus 34. But Ipswich got that good result at Chelsea. and Arsenal could only draw with Brentford. Arsenal probably, their minds are on other things now, surely, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, to be honest. And really, Ipswich, when they played Chelsea, they took the lead 1-0 up on a counter-attack. Hurst got the ball, controlled the ball, ran up the wing, played the ball to Guy, scored a goal 1-0, 2-0 up at half-time.
Sorry, Wayne. What did they do? How did they score the goal? Was it like this?
It was George Hurst who actually used to
goal.
play for Leicester.
Oh, Man United, sorry guys, Man United are 1-0 up at home to Olympique Lyonnais.
Oh, great. Are Spurs bottling it against Frankfurt, the sausage club?
That's 0-0 at the moment. But look, don't get excited, Man United fans. You have got Onana in goal. Sorry, Wayne, do carry on, sir.
No worries. Yeah, so it was when they played Chelsea. To be honest, they let Chelsea back in the game. Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper, pulled off no end of brilliant saves to keep them in the game. But here's the thing with Ipswich, it's like Southampton. They do kamikaze things at the back to let teams in the games. And they've dropped, I think, on Watch Match of the Day, and they said they've dropped 25 points from winning positions, Ipswich have. So it was, Chelsea were bound to come back into it. And
they did that all in the Championship, didn't they? Because they had a few, we used to say, Chris, didn't we? They get 1-1 results. So they did. That's something they haven't learned from last season.
Yeah, so I definitely do. I mean, Arsenal, wow. And yeah, Brad can talk about that. But I think basically it will be Ipswich 1, Arsenal 4.
Ooh, right. Brad, are Arsenal's minds elsewhere?
There's always the risk with that with Arsenal, not just this season, just in general. They always seem to get too focused on one, and this is the trophy, a bit like Leicester, but they've never made as many finals. But it's the one that keeps avoiding them, don't they? They've had some great teams over the years, and they've never quite made it. They had that chance against Barcelona and got they got robbed. Actually, I think I remember Sol Campbell, who must think he's cursed, probably by Tottenham fans, rightly so. Because he had goal ruled out, which would have taken it extra time, I think. But they were impressive. They were really impressive over the last two legs at Real Madrid, because Real Madrid have been in that situation before. Then you go to the is it Bernabeu? Is that their home ground? Because the new camp's Barcelona. Don't ask how I always wanted to walk in my head, but I do. You go to the Bernabeu and ask Man City fans, they turn it around in the second leg. I know they did it at Man City, Real Madrid, but Real Madrid are the best team in that competition. There's no arguments with it. I believe statistically they've won it the most. They've got to the most finals. They're the best team. So the fact that they dismantled them 5-1 so casually, they've got to channel their inner Newcastle. And Geordie will like me saying that this season. They've got to take that mini cup win, if you will, that big victory, and keep propelling it. Because what they don't want to do is suddenly take the foot off the gas in the league, draw a couple, drop some points here and there, and then they're playing the semi-final with no confidence behind them because they've dropped down the table and it's got a little bit sweaty in the league for them. So, Wayne went for 5 goals. I too have gone for 5 goals. I'm not feeling generous to Ipswich. I think Ipswich, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, being 2-0 up against Chelsea and drawing the game. I've gone Ipswich Town 0, Arsenal 5.
Ooh. Ouch. Well, in the form table, Ipswich are in 18th, and Arsenal are in where are Arsenal? 7th. In the home form table, Ipswich are 18th, and they have got the one of the poorest 3 at home, Ipswich, with no, they do at home. I don't know why they're telling me that. So Ipswich are 19th at home, one of the most poorly performing teams with home fixtures. 6% win rate at home, Ipswich. Away, Arsenal, strong performances at away fixtures within the top three in terms of away match wins, with a statistic of 44% win rate. I'm not going to be as horrible as you two, because I think it's going to be Ipswich 1, Arsenal, as Eric Morecambe would go, Arsenal 2. And yes, Wayne, you are old enough to remember that.
I tell you what, Chris, this might be an easy one for us all to predict because we've gone the same way, but you're not playing it safe and boring, aren't
you? Yeah, that's a bit of Eric as well. Who's playing safe and boring?
You with your 2-1. I want to get the points, but I don't want to risk it.
It's very safe, isn't it? It's very safe.
Holy hell. They call you Chris Safe Forian. They are. Distant safe makers, there you go.
Oh, God, don't make me laugh. Yeah, I haven't gone for anything higher than 2 goals in this Leicester table.
You do know that these are Premier League predictions, don't you, Chris?
So what, sorry?
You do know this is the Premier League?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to give box office predictions, mate. I've probably got more goals in my last 3 games than you've got in your entire bloody 7. Right?
I'm going to star that. And when that match is finished, and it's finished Ipswich 1, Arsenal 2, you will be hearing from me. Not my lawyer. You'll be hearing directly from me. Craig has gone Ipswich 0, Arsenal 4. Spoil sport. Geordie has gone Ipswich 0, Arsenal 3. Blue Fox has gone 3-1 to Arsenal. Prashant has gone 3-1 to Arsenal as well. And next up, Man United, who are playing tonight, were 1-0 up. I don't know if they still are because I'm not looking at it now. Hosting Wolves. Man United, Wayne, can't wait for this season to end, surely, can they?
I think they're wishing it was an 80-game season, to be honest, Man United, because, I mean, they could turn it around, couldn't they?
No.
Not. No. I mean, you got the
what was that in that can you were drinking? Pure vodka?
Yeah, I must stop drinking meths.
Yes.
I mean, some of the stats on match today, they've got 1.15 points per game, which is the worst run of 20 games or more since the Second World War for Man United.
Wow.
I mean, the goalkeeper situation, Onana, he was so poor that it was affecting the confidence of the back four and the midfield. And then they've got Biondi in goal, and he just makes awful mistakes. He kicks the ball straight out to Joe Linton, and Newcastle score a goal. So they're just in a mess. You've got Garnacho, who hasn't scored for so many times. And apart from lovely, kind teams like Leicester City, which allow him to score for the first time in 20 games, they've got a poor attacking, they've got poor midfield. Apart from Fernandes, I think they're very average. Well, they are where they deserve to be. And it's ironic that they let Rashford go, and he's now playing for Villa, and he's very important playing for Villa. So, why did they let him go? So, as you said, Chris, Man United, thing of the past. Will they ever get back there? Probably mid-table side. So I think Man United will actually lose against Wolves. And I think it's Man United 1, Wolves 3.
Right. There has been another goal in the Europa League. And it's Lazio who have pulled one back against Bodø/Glimt. Who remembers Bodø/Glimt?
Yeah, didn't they knock Celtic out?
Well, no, we beat them, didn't they? We've got them in one of the European competitions. They're in Norway or somewhere, and it's something like -30. But this game's in Italy. But Lazio is still losing 1-2 on aggregate. So Brad, Wolves. Yeah, which Wolves is going to turn up this week? I think it's a case of, isn't it?
I mean, you're talking. You like to do yours in brackets of like 4s and 5s for the form guide, Chris. Four games unbeaten. I mean, just a quick way of just mentioned Europa League with Spurs. Very Spursy performance that. Every single one of Wolves' goals was Tottenham being the makers of their own downfall. It was a hilarious game to watch. And look, you know, Garnacho's a bit of a dick, isn't he, really? But he keeps cursing Manchester United. I know it worked for him against Leicester, but at that point, who wasn't beating Leicester scoring a goal? We were giving out goals for free. Still are to a degree. But he did that stupid little celebration again against Newcastle. And what happened? Yeah. Maybe stop being a prat, Garnacho, because you're an overhyped, overrated prat. Did I say prat enough? Pratt.
No, say it one more time. Go on.
Pratt. There you go. And I can see Wolves winning it. Now I'm with Wayne on this one, which I dread to say. I would say agreeing with bottom of the league is, it is a cursor, but he did take over halfway through, and he's doing his best, bless him. And I think this has got goals in it, but I'm going to go Manchester United 2. Wolverhampton Wanderers safe and 3.
You know what? Scarily, I wrote 3 down then before you said it. Hang on. We've got some. Leicester City have made an announcement about their manager.
No.
Please don't tell me you believe that.
Brad,
I saw the pictures in the background and had a chuckle to myself. No.
That's you and Ant I've got with that one.
Chris, you know that I've got the Ruud van Nistelrooy from world-class striker to visionary coach book still to read.
I'm going to say, have you not burnt it yet?
I'm personally invested into Ruud van Nistelrooy, and my dreams have been shattered. And then you absolutely give me mental trauma with that graphic.
Yeah, but we'd be better off with Kermit as manager, wouldn't we?
Probably.
Picky.
Susan
He knows how to win games.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wayne, what were you saying?
Oh, Susan Wheeler, Miss Pigger.
Well,
no, don't ask what John Rudkin is.
The thoughts of Wayne are not necessarily those of Leicester Till I Die TV. Just say that. Look, I am going to agree with you two. Wolves are literally in 4th place in the form table. They have won the last 4, but before that they drew 1 and lost 1. Only 2 points behind everybody else, but 2 points clear of Chelsea and Manchester City. At home, Manchester United, their form is 13th. Away, Wolves are 14th. Won the last 3 away, can you believe, Wolves? The thing with Manchester United is when people look back at the 2024-25 Premier League season, to me, there's a couple of things that they'll remember it for. Arsenal bottling the league again. They'll remember it for Southampton getting less points than Derby. And they'll remember it for Manchester United having the worst season, like you said, they've had in modern history. And we will be but a footnote in that season. Phew. Yeah, exactly. Wayne, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go 3-1.
Get a room. You're not agreeing with me, man.
I can give you some pointers to steer away from Chris agreeing with me.
And hold on, did you just say you're going 3-1?
3-1.
Well, Wayne went 2-1.
3-1.
You did not.
I did.
I've written 3-1 down for Wayne.
Yeah.
You know what?
3-1.
I said that, and so have I. So I don't know why I even said 2-1. I don't know. I'm gonna put the wacky backy down.
That's why he goes off camera, so he can have some.
I'm just trying to settle my brain.
Yes. And just to show you that I have gone for a team to get more than 2 goals this week. Well, we've got to talk about it, guys. Leicester City finally getting or showing some balls last week. Buses, we were waiting for ages, weren't we, for a goal, and then we get 2. Who would have thought? Rood's now coming out and saying, I'm going to give the youngsters a chance, blah, blah, blah. I have an awful feeling that Rood is going to go back and start picking the same team as he did before.
Chris, drive down to the training ground. We'll all go on a FundMe page to pay for your petrol and just go in it, Sideshow Bob with a sledgehammer.
Well, I did put a thing up as apparently one day next week, Jordan Ayew and Bobby Devkova-Reid are at the fan store. All I was hoping was that we were selling them.
No, sadly, they're having the cheek to charge people to go to it. It's ridiculous.
Aren't they charging?
Apparently so. Someone posted it on Twitter that you can buy tickets for it. What is it, to auction them off?
I saw that you could get tickets, but I didn't realise you had to pay for them.
Well,
and Wayne's gone off to have a wank now, so I'm all on my own.
That was quicker than Jake Evans' time on the pitch.
Oh, yeah, man. Very good.
Leicester Liverpool. Liverpool are going to win this, and if they do, they'll be crowned champions, although they may have done that already, depending on the other results. It's a shame, really, because we did so well against Brighton. And this is kind of, you wish you'd got like Southampton or somebody next, but it is Liverpool. Brighton, let's be honest with you, weren't an easy team to play against. They were a strong team. But can you see Leicester getting anything from this, or is it a free hit for them now?
Salary's been on a bit of a drought. He's just signed a new deal.
Is he in your FPL?
Sorry?
Is he in your FPL team?
I'm not interested in that fancy football.
Yeah. Don't talk about that rigmarole.
When I'm on this show, I'm purely about the prediction league, Brad.
Yeah, okay. So when Chris uploads a short, we'll know what it's going to be.
To be honest, it's one thing I do like about Manny. He does know his stuff. Is he really champions the young bringing the youngsters on? I think he's a bit deluded about Mavididi because he's not really proven in the Premier. Whereas I think for sorry, Brad. I think Fatawu, if he'd have stayed fit, I think if Fatawu would have stayed fit, Ricky P had been fit, we would be still in the Premier next season. But Mavididi has had one or two really good games. But it's interesting to see what Rood does from now on, isn't it? And Liverpool, they've basically got it wrapped up. I do think Salah will come on strong and want to finish with as many goals as possible. And it's just who Rood picks. So is Ricky P fit again? Can he start Ricky P instead of bringing him on? Will he start Mavididi? Will he start McAteer? Which me, Brad and Tom said we wanted to happen. So that's just the question. But I would say even if we play our strongest side that we've got, Liverpool is a very, very tough opposition. And I think it's going to be Leicester 1, Liverpool 4.
Oh. There you were, building Leicester up, and then you go and shoot us down.
Well, because do you think Rude will revert back to a more defensive? That's the big question, isn't it? We don't know.
Yes, yeah. Right, Brad. Is this just a free hit for Leicester?
Yeah, it is, Chris. I think the fact is what we saw against Brighton is Rude had given up the ghost on his tactic. Now, it could be a learning curve. I'm still miffed that some fans feel we should stick with Rude in the Championship and he could maybe magically do what Lampard's doing. But Lampard had many failings before he found his level. Of course, financially, you might be stuffed and have to stick with him unless he walks. So that's something to worry about in the future. But see, the thing is, Chris, Liverpool have been stuttering over the finish line. It's almost like they've turned around, realised that the rest of the pack that was right behind them at the start has got stuck on the bog at the halfway line and can't move anywhere. So they're kind of just nonchalantly going about it. The stats against West Ham that you guys gave me for free, thanks for that, lads. Obviously doesn't paint the same picture, does it? You know that it was 2-1 close in scoreline, but effectively it was all Liverpool by the sounds of the stats in terms of chances created. Having said that, I mean, come on. Who wants to win the title away from home? You either want someone else to do the hard work for you, like we did Chelsea at Tottenham, or you want to win it at home. Don't you? Don't want to win it at Anfield. They don't want to win it here. So they'll see that Southampton have done a miracle, and they'll say, we'll give Leicester some more false hope. And despite the fact that everything in my head is screaming Leicester 1, Liverpool 3, I'm going to join Prashant. So you're not alone here, Prashant. I'm going... Well, lads, I'm only going to say this once. So turn your hearing aids up. I'm going to go for Leicester to go out this season on a bang. I'm going for Leicester City to only concede one. I'm dragging this out. So Liverpool are getting one. And Leicester are going to do something that they haven't done, well, probably since Southampton away. They're going to score 3. I'm not saying it again, Chris.
Is that
Did he say 3-1 to Leicester?
Yeah.
Man's a dick.
I'm 4 from bottom. If it's not for the no compete and wait, I'll be bottom of the league. This is honestly God water. I might as well go nuts.
When you said Leicester are going out with a bang, you didn't mean that they were playing suicide cricket, did you?
No, they're playing suicide chess instead.
He really showed that. He nearly spit his drink everywhere.
Let's hope Rude watches this and he say, "Hey, lad, Brad thinks we're gonna smash Liverpool 3-1."
You say this right, but I know we've got Wolves, Southampton, and Ipswich coming up, and if West Ham keep losing, just stick with me, lads. Rude's great escape. I'm not getting carried away with a 2-2 draw.
You're not, are you? You should be carried away.
Yeah, that's why I keep going to the caravan, mate. I tell you, I work there.
Let's just put this into perspective here, guys. Right? Liverpool are second in the form table.
Yeah.
1-5. They have lost one, in fairness, but I don't know who that was against. Leicester, 19th in the form table with 1 draw.
Yeah, climbing up.
Ended their recent performance very poorly. The performance equal to 0.17 points per game. This is one of the worst performances in this league. I think we're probably only safe by Southampton. On home form, Leicester City, woo! We're 18th, folks. Don't end it now. Stop the recount. Liverpool is performing. Oh no, they're away. Leicester is one of the most poorly performing teams at home, with in the top 3. Leicester City FC has a home game win ratio of 13%. That said, it's double Ipswich's 6 and Southampton's 6. On away. On away form, Liverpool are first of this season, having won 10, drawn 5 and lost 1, with a plus 21 goal difference away from home.
If any silence says, "Oh my God," that was what you just done, Chris.
Yeah. Liverpool is winning often.
The last time Liverpool won the Premier League, right? They played Watford, and Steve Ryanex predicted Watford to win, and we both laughed at him.
I'm laughing at you, and I still will.
Yeah, I'm laughing at myself.
Liverpool is winning often at away fixtures. Liverpool FC's away match win percentage is 63%. And Brad went Leicester 3, Liverpool 1.
All I'm saying is, Chris, when Leicester were down in the dumps after we sacked Ranieri, we played Liverpool at home, who were flying, and we beat them 3-1. So, shut up.
I've got visions of, like at Life of Brian, always look on the bright.
I'm living on the delusional side of life, mate.
Yeah. Well, but hold that thought. Hold that thought, because look, are we going to see a turnaround after Brighton? Because I have also gone for 3-1.
Yeah, to Liverpool, okay.
For Liverpool, yes, you're quite right. My second 3-1 in a row.
Tottenham are the worst, dodgiest penalty given and are currently winning 1-0. And Dominic, waste of money Solanke, celebrated it like he just won the Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup all in life. Calm down, mate. You've scored 3 goals in your Tottenham career.
Well, talking of that, and don't forget, of course, Mo Salah has just signed a new contract, and so has Dick Van Dijk.
Yeah, they're both getting sent off. Leicester winning 3-1. And I'm going to text you when it happens.
He'll come on going chim chimney, chim chimney, chim.
Come on, Chris, do the high Dick Van Dijk high kick.
I did under the table. You just couldn't see it. That's the problem. Right. Monday night, Spurs hosting Nottingham Forest.
Formality.
For Forest.
Spurs.
Actually, have you spent too long with Brad?
No, Spurs are going to struggle on. I mean, there are reasons why they've struggled. It's the manager, for one. Basically, Romero in the back foot. At one stage, he was like touted as going to be one of the best defenders in the Premier League, but he made an awful mistake passing the ball to Aït-Nouri to score 3-1. Bergvall in midfield trying to dribble past Cunha, lost the ball. 4-1 to Wolves. Just catastrophic defensive and midfield errors. Richarlison has been out injured for most of the season. He's hardly played.
Wouldn't have known if he was playing anyway.
They had a lot of possession in that game, but Wolves had more shots on target than and I'm not a fan of possession these days. And hopefully, thank God, there's a lot of teams doing really well with less possession, but just play the ball.
You're a Sean Dyche fan. That's what you are.
Sorry.
You're a Sean Dyche fan.
Oh, please, no. That's one thing I do not want Leicester to get Sean Dyche. But Spurs, and I think, like you said, Chris, with Man United, Spurs are one of those clubs that they've got a massive new stadium. Historically, they've always played. I've followed Spurs through the years because they played good attacking football. But they are just very average. They struggle to build a quality side like Man United. And I think they are destined for years and years of this sort of position. And I think Forest will get back on track. And I think they will beat Spurs and they will beat them 2-1.
2-1. United, talking to 2 goals, have gone 2-0 up against Olympique Lyonnais. So they are now 4-2 on aggregate, coming up to half-time. Apparently, they're going to build a new super training ground in the middle of London somewhere, and 6 London clubs are going to use it.
Hey?
I know.
Yeah. What we don't know is it's Chelsea under 23s, Chelsea under 18s, Chelsea under 50s.
In fairness, though, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Not really. So you imagine like you and 5 other mates, and you say, "I'm going to buy a car, and we can all use it." What's going to happen?
But you
You're
can't get
right.
a
You're
training
very
ground. You can use
specific.
it at the same time if it's big enough, can't you?
Yeah, but then you just send someone in a Man U in an opposition shirt and get them to infiltrate the tactics when they're having a
I
discussion.
don't, don't shoot the messenger. They won't do that because Leeds aren't using it. Anyway, Nottingham Forest, Brad. I think they could still get Champions League simply because of how many places we're going to get. But again, they have kind of gone off the boil a little bit, haven't they?
They have a bit, and again, a bit like other teams in and around them, the Bournemouths and that. They just haven't been able to keep going with that pace. They seem to have very, very hot form stages of 5 or 6 games, and then they go very cold for a few of them. And then they're playing Tottenham, who in another universe, in another 3 teams doing a lot better, would be in a relegation fight right now. Let's face it, they would be. If you had us and Ipswich on 32, 33 points, they'd be in a relegation zone. Fight at least, wouldn't they? So that we're really helping paper over the cracks in what's been a torrid season for Spurs. But of course, Big Ange always wins something in his second season. I didn't know it was the Intertoto Cup that he's going to win with Spurs, maybe, but we'll see. I kind of agree with Wayne, though. This is the sort of game that they'll moan about losing because, we played on a Thursday night, mate. That's why we lost the bloody game of Forest. It's got nothing to do with the players. They gave everything. But we lost because we played too many games. I win everything.
That's not bad, actually. Give him credit where credit's due. That's not bad, Brad.
Thank you. I'm going Tottenham 0, Forest 2. And also, surprisingly, a very disconsolate James Maddison's just been taken off before half time in that game. Wow. No seminal injury. He looked very disconsolate at being taken off.
Maybe he should have stayed at Leicester. Mind you, we needed the money, didn't we? Spurs in the form table based on the last 6 are 17th. Forest are 8th in the form table. Excuse me. If you look at home form, then Spurs are in 12th overall this season, and Forest are 4th on the away form overall this season. I can't see any other result than a Forest win, which will probably mean Spurs will do it. They'll probably win tonight 1-0 via a dodgy penalty, and then think that the God's gift to football, and then get a real walloping. What do you think I'm going to go for, anybody?
After all this talk, I wouldn't be surprised if you went for a Desmond, but I'm going for Tottenham Hotspur 1, Nottingham Forest 3.
You got it.
Yeah. I'm good.
3 ones in a row. Wow.
3 ones in a row. 3 ones in a row.
I haven't actually gone for any home team to win.
Do you know what, Chris? That was the fact that I was meant to bring up the unusual fact. There was one week where I actually surprisingly did really well. I didn't go for a single home game victory.
Yeah.
We're going to fight. The handbags are out. Tottenham handbags go together. Sorry, watching on my phone.
Very quickly, we've got a couple of midweek fixtures. We won't go through these in too much detail. We've spoken about the teams already. Tuesday, it's City Villa. Wednesday, it's Arsenal to Palace. These, obviously, you've seen these in their other games. Wayne, Man City Villa.
Oh, Man City, De Bruyne is back. Marmouche looks a really, really good forward, actually. I just think they are starting to fire on all fours. That's what I think. Forest will drop out of the Champions League maybe with Villa. So 2 Champions League bound teams. I think this is a 3-3.
Woo! Goal feast. Brad.
Well, I also think it'll be a goal fest, but I've gone for a triple on the predictions show. I've gone for my third, and spoiler alert, final Desmond of the evening.
You've gone for 3 Desmonds.
I know.
After everything you say to me, we are going to have a Desmond chart next.
I know we will. But Chris, you've got to go 1-1 now.
Yes.
So I'd like to go 4-4.
Is that your OCD, Brad? Is that your
What's
OCD?
that?
You know what? You're not going to believe this. I was thinking 1-1, and I might just go for that now, because if this is 1-1 and I get 3 points for this, you will be so pissed off. And for that reason, and no other reason other than the fact that it'll piss Brad off immensely, I am going to go 1-1.
Good lad. I'll tell you what, yeah, go for it.
And I am just going to love it if I'd love it if it was 1-1, Brad. Oh dear, you did from me, all right. And finally, Arsenal versus the Palace, London Derby, Wayne.
Very interesting. Will they be
Mr.
saving
Bond.
themselves for the semi-final against PSG?
Did he sound like a Bond villain then? Oh, very interesting.
Yes, I mean Saka is back.
I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
Yes, but Saka's back and he's playing really well. I mean, he tried that Penenga, didn't he? And he missed, and then he shushed everybody when he scored the goal. So yeah, I just think Arsenal are back on form. They will beat Palace, and I think it's going to be 3-1.
Do you know I don't know if you guys watch Bond films, because they're actually on ITV4 at the moment. Who knew? The best line ever from a Bond film was actually, I think it was Moonraker, and James Bond was in a cable car which Jaws had stopped by biting into the cable, and for some reason he decided it was a good idea to get up onto the roof with his beautiful lady. And he was hanging off the side of the cable car, and the woman goes, "Hang on, James," and he just looks up at her. This is Roger Moore, and goes, "The thought had occurred to me." Makes me laugh. Brothers.
Look, Paris are just at turmoil, and if the form continues, which I predicted it to do, I predicted a 2-2 actually. Shit. But it's Arsenal. They've got to keep the form going. Oh, this pains me to say it, but I'm going to agree with Wayne. I'm going to go... No, I'm not. I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Palace 0. I can't do it to myself.
We know. I'm going to make it a full house. I'm going to say there's 3 goals, but you can guess where this is leading. I'm going to go for my first home win of the show, and Arsenal 2, Palace 1, because I think Liverpool will have won the league by then, and Arsenal will say, well, there's no pressure on us now. Let's just go out and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, it's
I know it didn't work with Southampton, but...
Yeah,
Newcastle
no one's going to get any points for that game.
And I just realised, sorry, that I haven't been putting people's scores up. So to quickly catch them up, Prashant went Leicester 2, Liverpool 1. He said, I'm going to sound like an idiot. Sorry, Prashant, I'm not being rude, but yeah. Craig Gilbert's gone 2-1 to Liverpool. Leicester 1, Liverpool 3, says Geordie. Oh, a 2-2, Blue Fox. Oh, Liverpool lost the to Fulham. Spurs 2, Forest 1. Spurs 1, Forest 2. Spurs 1, Forest 5. Whoa, Prashant. Geordie says Maddison got clattered for the Spurs penalty and was receiving lengthy treatment. Okay. City 1, Villa 1, says Geordie. 2-2, says Prashant. Arsenal 2, Palace 0, says Geordie. Arsenal 2, Palace 1, says Prashant. There we go. A bit of a longer one tonight because we had the extra games. Let me know if you are, because we're going to end the show now, but if you're watching this on catch-up, excuse me, let me know below if you like the new format, which is basically one of the guys doing home and the other guy doing away, and me copying their ideas for the third one. Let me know if that's sort of the format that you like moving forward into next season. Guys, we've got Liverpool. It's on Sunday, but it is Easter Sunday. God has risen. Maybe if I take enough Viagra, it could work for me. I'm sorry. But are you two going to be available with it being Easter Sunday? Understandable if you're not.
Yeah, I've got a dose of fuck and all to do on my Sunday. After work.
I wondered where that was going then after you said I've got a dose of fuck. I'm going to say, don't.
Just a preview. I know we won't be doing one, but look, it's still the board's still standing.
That's the review.
I know, but I'm just letting people know if they thought it was going to be up by sticky tape and blue tack and chewing gum. Them pads that you told me to,
who recommended you to
I
use
just
it?
said, did I not just say them pads that you recommended, Chris? And you jumped the gun. I'll tell you what.
Didn't hear you, Brad. Didn't hear you. Just send me the check in the post. Guys,
£1.50 through PayPal.
Guys, thank you very, very much. I'm not here, well, like I say, we're provisionally not here tomorrow night. Who knows what we might end up doing. But I have got to get ready because my radio show, hopefully, after being put off for 3 weeks, may finally actually happen Saturday morning. I think I've got the right things to put in the right holes, which I find always helps. No, you get something in the wrong hole, Brad. It's not going to work properly, is it?
No, you usually ouch.
I wouldn't know. Guys, thank you very, very much. Have a great night. Prashant says, thanks, guys. Chris, hope your cough gets better soon. Thank you. I'm going to go and swallow something now.
Wait, hold on, are you now?
As in medicine, you jumped the gun then.
I did. I had to, mate. I
tell you what, right? I was in Lanzarote earlier in the year and I had a bad cough then. And I went into the local pharmacy and they gave me, I said what I'd got. And I expected to be like, like the little bottles you get here, the little plastic bottles. No, like the, if you go into like Wetherspoons, which is my pub of choice, or any of these things, you get the sugar, the long, thin sugar things. There were those, obviously not paper, but there were those with a cough medicine in, one dose in.
Yeah.
I thought, that's a damn good idea.
Yeah, our NHS would still charge you £10.50 for it.
That is true. That is true. Guys, thank you all. Well, thank you all. Thank you both very, very much. And I will see you, if not before, on Sunday evening.
See you.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Take care. Thanks very much. Oopsie-daisy. I was pressing all the wrong buttons there. There we go. So that was and I'm still not there. I am here. There I go. I don't know what was happening there, but I am here. Thanks so much, everybody. Smash those likes. Subscribe if you're new. Click the notification bell. You'll never miss another show. We're going to do a little thing on Monday where we're trying something a little bit different. I've just done it now. If you want to know the player ratings, but don't want to have to sort of watch the whole show of the review, we're going to keep the player ratings on a separate show now, and we're going to bring that. And I've just cut and pasted and done it as a separate video for the Brighton game, our player ratings. So go and check that out now on the YouTube channel. And like I say, if you have just been listening to us via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much indeed. Really do appreciate it. I will say goodbye now. I'm going to go and swallow some cough medicine. Do take care, guys. Have a good Friday, and Easter Saturday. I'll see you for the match on Sunday. Take care.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.